Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the year-end edition of the Creative Cranium. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us. I got a terrific panel tonight. We're going to do the critical countdown. We're going to look at some of the best products that have come out in 2023 in the indie creator community. Before we start, though, let's quick go around the room and introduce ourselves to at least try and establish a little bit of credibility. So I'll start with my right here. Dennis, tell us a little bit who you are and what you are mostly known for.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Dennis Knight. Writer, creator, consultant. I got my start with Pronto Comics back in 2012. With my creator-owned story titled Cross. Since then, I've done a lot of panels at New York Comic Con, Comic Book School, Buddy Scalara. My latest work is Strange World Comics issue number 0. I'm actually writing that right now. And yeah, that's about it.
Good. It's good to finally meet you. It's been a while.
Likewise, yes.
Yeah. Lori, we don't know each other, do we?
No, not at all. Does anybody know me?
I do.
I'm just kidding. Hi, everybody. I'm Lori Calcaterra. If you don't know me, I'm the writer-creator of Path of the Pale Rider. I also help pen other creative-owned properties like Psycho Sal. I smash pumpkins. I host podcasts. I'm on the Tuesday Morning Brew. Most of you guys know who I am, I think, from there. Yeah, I do all that and bake cookies.
Nice.
Nice to have you, Lori.
Hey.
That's a good show too, the Tuesday Morning Brew, if you guys haven't been on that. So Tom, let's jump over to you. Who are you, man?
I don't know. Tom Hutchison, writer, publisher, art director, shipping guy, all things at Big Dog Inc. We're wrapping up year 13 for Big Dog Inc. Critter, Penny for Your Soul, Legend of Oz, Princesses versus Zombies, on and on and on. We'll be bringing back the Critterverse beginning in January in just a couple more weeks.
Nice. Congrats on your many successes this year, Tom. Speaking of successes this year, Travis Gibb, welcome to the panel.
Hey, nice to be here. I am Travis Gibb. I'm a creator and owner of Orange Cone Production. We are a Ringo nominated company with Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. But I do books for Scout Comics, Great State Punk. I do books for Band of Bards, Coins of Judas, and we have tons of books under Orange Cone as well, from Cthulhu Invades Oz and Neverland, Holiday Spirits, which is live on Kickstarter, Expired, Voodoo Nations, all sorts of stuff, not counting all my many work for hire jobs. I do a lot of shit.
Yeah, you're busy. Congrats on your year too, Travis.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Always a pleasure to see Matt Knowles.
Hi, Matt.
What's going on, man? What's going on? Matt Knowles, one half of In Symmetry Creations. We create books like Misfits Clubhouse, that's on Scout Comics, Heirs of Isildur, Tales from Nocturnia. We're about to release I Am Keto, which is our Far East fictional title. Think Mortal Kombat and Soul Calibur meets Mad Max. I also play metal music and do a lot of panel hosting and emceeing at conventions.
Excellent. Excellent. Welcome to the panel, Matt.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for the last minute invite. I'm glad to be here alongside such people like Travis Gibb.
Titans. These are the titans of the industry. I pale in comparison. So let's jump right in, man. We got some great stuff to take a look at. Now, in this one, this is going to be American Dreams, Volume 1. That's by Daniel Calvin. Now, Travis mentioned earlier, this makes it for 2023, sort of, because this is the year that it was released into comic book stores. I should also mention Daniel has these other projects, which are also successful, which is Night Wrath and Rook and Knight, which Rook and Knight also is in 2023. But I chose this because it's kind of his better known title. Are you guys familiar with this one?
I've heard of it, but I haven't had a chance to check it out yet.
Gotcha. Travis, you know this one, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Why don't you give us your thoughts on American Dreams?
So I think American Dreams is a great retelling of history, right? It really focuses on the Jewish immigrants, in the turn of the century, to figuring out what America is like, what being a Jewish-born American had to deal with in the time. But what's cool about it and what makes it unique is not just a superhero element, but it ties in like people like Thomas Edison and Houdini and all these into
right.
Great. It's done very well. It did really well in the direct market. It has a new home. Got him invited to that. I can't think of the name of it, so I apologize. Maybe Matt can remember the Jewish. They did a special Jewish
Oh yeah,
convention.
it spells out hero or choice, or it's an acronym.
Yeah, but it's really, really cool, and kudos to Daniel Calvin. He's really been doing a lot of stuff and working really hard this year. So kudos.
Yeah, man. I give this one a thumbs up too. I think it's cool how they have the I like alternate history stuff. I thought it was cool that he included a little bit of Yiddish in it. That gave it flavor, I thought. And also, I was a fan of the TV show The Alienist. I don't know if you guys saw that one. That's where it was like turn of the century. It was the same time period. And they were trying to stop a serial killer. And it was like an alternate Teddy Roosevelt and, this kind of thing. So if you like the sort of seeing the alternate history people as roles and heroes, you probably like American Dreams.
This panel reminds me of Godfather 2. You
Oh, yeah.
On the rooftop a lot.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. So that one's pretty solid. So I tell you what, without delay, and I'll start jumping right into them as we go along here. One of my all-time favorites of this year. This is Caw by Fish Lee. Dennis, what do you think of this one?
Oh yes.
I checked this out actually a couple of days ago, and I loved it. I love the Saturday morning cartoon vibes. I love the color. I love the lines. The poses were great. I felt like I was eating a bowl of cereal Saturday morning. That's what I felt. Really, really good.
Yeah. Lori, how about you?
That's what I see as well. As like when I grew up, I was watching like He-Man, Thundercats. Like that's totally the outfit, the vibe of what I'm seeing here. I'm not familiar with this, but this looks awesome. Action-packed, so many characters, bright colors. I agree. It's like having a bowl of Lucky Charms in the morning. Reading this would be nostalgic.
But only off the back of the cereal box.
Right. Where's the action figures? That's what we need. We need the battle action one where you hit him in the chest and you get the mark.
Yeah, that'll damage.
Yeah.
Tom, what do you think of this? Is this ring for you?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of this in the previews that you were sending us. I agree with them all. He knew exactly what he was aiming for. At least I haven't talked to him about it, but I would assume I knew exactly what he was aiming for, and he pulled it off perfectly. Just like they said, it looks like a cartoon. It's jumping off the page. There's no subtlety about this book. It just goes, which I love books that just go. Sometimes you can get too bogged down in yourself. In whatever story you're trying to tell, and other times you just are going page to page to page.
Yep.
Like, let's go, and those are fun books.
Travis, what's your thoughts on Caw?
I think Fish Lee let us down with this, to be honest. Fish Lee is a great creator, but he didn't give us a full issue. There's not 20 pages there. It's only 16. Fish Lee promised us a full issue here and just gave us a little bit. And I yelled at him, I remember, because this was such a good book this year, such a great present. And kudos for Fish Lee. Fish Lee, if you don't know who he is, he's been a creator who's worked with several people over the last 5 years or so. Really been working, getting other people's dreams out there, other people's properties. This year, he took among himself. I'm going to do my own thing. Did this book, and then I can't think of the name of them. What is it? The Green Zone. Both from here, putting them outside, really pushing himself out there to get some really good credit. So kudos to Fish Lee. Had a great year. Amazing creator. But give us full 20 pages. Come on.
Yeah. Maybe it is a market strategy, to leave the audience wanting more. What do you say, Matt?
Well, you're talking to the guy that doesn't know how to put out an issue that doesn't have a spine on the side of it because it's so dang long. But I agree with Travis. I especially in the Kickstarter market, I want to see an issue that's a little bit longer. But I do agree that Fish is a really cool guy. And like, I don't know Fish well, but I know every single time that I ever see Fish, I like him more and more. And I want to see more from him. I want to see him succeed just because he's such a good, positive, high energy guy. And he definitely got everybody talking to me. He's got a 20-page issue that we're looking at right here. So he did something right.
Yeah, for real. Well, yeah, my hat's off to you officially. I liked Green Zone too, but Caw is my new favorite. I think you did a good job there. I look forward to the next update. So let's take a second. We'll talk about Immortal Era. That's Edward Davis' book. I like this one. I like the deep dive on the sci-fi, but I'm different than some people. Dennis, what do you make of something like this?
I'm a big sci-fi guy by trade. Like a lot of my comic books that I write are usually science fiction or superhero stuff. So I dived right into this one. I mean, I love the color scheme, temperatures are great. They were like had like it gives me like 90s image vibes, like with Spawn
Right.
had those like vibrant colors. This is the kind of vibe I got from this book right here.
Oh, Chuck.
Sorry, I was just scrolling through. Lori, what do you think of Immortal Era?
I would like to see more. I'm not familiar, but this looks like, you know me, sci-fi is right up my alley. So what's the pitch for this book?
It's a future where people don't die. And it's like a conspiracy. It's very X-Files-y.
It looks like it's well drawn and well lettered.
Yeah, and he's running a long race too. That's number 8, I believe, that came out this year.
Okay.
I always say to him, I'm jealous because he's farther ahead with Immortal than I am with Water Wars. So he got ahead of you. What do you make of this, Tom? What do you make of Immortal Era?
I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing any of this. So yeah, this is brand new to me. I think a lot of the stuff that you've got on your list is going to be brand new to me. So that's going to be kind of cool. You know, we oftentimes get in our little bubbles, right? And we kind of know some people who know some people.
Right.
Then you kind of, it's the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You got to take that full 6 degrees to see what the connections really are. So you're going to bring in a whole lot of people that I may have never even heard of. Maybe your audience hasn't even heard of them. So that's going to be half the cool part about this tonight.
Yeah, totally agree.
Show us more.
Hold on, I'm getting to my. What I'm doing is I'm getting all the next, you know, the.
Oh yeah. I demand more, Tim.
Well, I got like 40 open.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll talk about Immortal Era while Tim's doing
yeah,
that.
please do.
Great book. It's 8 issues in. Edward Davis is one of the hardest working people in the zone. He works really hard. He's very active in the community. He's talking people up, always pushing to get newer numbers. You know, I always give him a challenge every time he has a new campaign and say, hey, try to get to 200, try to get to the next campaign. You know, it's one of my favorite that I back every year. I love that it has a spinoff this year, which is really cool. That just came out. So kudos to Immortal Era. I think that making this list, if you're going to do a top 20 or whatever, Edward Davis deserves to be on it. He's working really hard, and he's always up for advice to try to make it better, smoother, faster. You know, he's got some great editors. He's got Chuck Pino on one end, and he's got darn it, can't think of his name. I'll think about it in a minute. Aaron Dowan as the other one.
Sure. Yeah.
Taking people who've done some stuff and trying to get advice from different people to make his book better. And those are the people who I love, who want to make it better. They don't want to just put out the same stuff every time. They want to make it better. They want to help their audience each time. So kudos to my dude.
Yeah, and a hell of a nice guy too. And to run the race for 8 issues, Travis, that's a guy who believes in his world, and he did it his way. I mean this in the most complimentary sense. He's not really a huckster-ish type guy. You know, it's all about the story and the building of his universe. So I really respect that about him, and I respect the direction that he took with it. Matt, do you know Immortal Era?
Yeah, I've definitely backed Immortal Era probably half of the times that they've been out there, because I just don't think that I realized they're out there the other times. But yeah, I definitely am a fan of Edward Davis. Echo the same sentiments that are out there. I really like the art style that's in there, and I just think it's a quality book. And I'm glad to see that he's been able to keep his audience increasing over a long haul, which is something that's difficult to do in this day and age.
Oh, right. And to keep it fresh each time too.
Yeah.
All right. We can't go too far without saying something about this book. One of my favorite new books, this is by John Westhoff, is The Drumsticks of Doom, which is it's an alternate future where Black Sabbath became the most popular band instead of the Beatles.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's terrific. And this is now 5. Sorry if I get the number wrong, John. It's going to go to 7 total. But anyway, he's really leaning into the musical references, which I dig in comics. And for example, the one you see there, it's a Megadeth album cover, homage cover. Dennis, what do you think of? Do you like musical tribute type books?
I think they're a lot of fun, especially if you're a big music, you're into music and like research the lyrics and like make the lyrics complement your story. I think it's great. I mean, this looks like a lot of fun. I didn't get a chance to check this one out, but it looks like a lot of fun.
I know Drumsticks of Doom really well. It's a very, very fun issue. I mean, being a metalhead myself, John and I actually did some. We did some cross promo. Did a cross promo trading card and some cross promo when one of his Drums of Dixon Doom issues were out, and yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's hilarious. I think he probably could go farther into the no one could destroy the metal, pick of destiny kind of stuff if he wanted to. But it definitely is super fun, and definitely is it's an interesting book. And as far as I remember, everything is in black and white as well. He's doing all these issues in black and white, which is definitely not the easiest thing to do in this market, especially when you're on Kickstarter where everybody's expecting full color issues, and for it to be in black and white is definitely a challenge, but he's definitely finding a way to have success with this title. I think it's his most successful title that he has.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a couple other too. The Bulletproof Chicken, right?
That one's my favorite.
Oh, see, Bulletproof Chicken. See, I'm glad we got the pitch, because when I saw Drumsticks of Doom, I was immediately thinking chicken legs. I'm like, what is going on here? But Drumsticks of Doom, that makes way more sense with the pitch. So, there you go.
Yeah. He has really cool merch too. Like he has drumsticks with his logo on it. He has guitar picks. So he's it's really cool that if you're into music and you're into comics, this kind of checks both boxes. So.
Right. And it shows, again, I've said this to people before, but there's a curious marriage between music and comics, especially among so many of us are former musicians and that kind of thing. I don't know why that is, but it comes up time and time again. One of the things is because being on a creative team is a little bit like being in a band.
100%.
Yes.
Okay, so I went a hair out of order, but I got a cool.
I do want to say, hold on, because I didn't say it, because John, this is John's best book, hand down. As someone who does Great Estate Punk, I love when I can cross promote and do stuff with this book. It's really a cut above everything else he writes. Like you could definitely feel like this is his heart. Where the other stuff are great stuff that he wants to write, great stories, but there's something special about this. I don't know if it comes from the art team or it comes from him, but there's something special about what he does here, and I want to see more of it.
It's a good one too. Okay, next up, this is Calvin Chambers with Oni Hunter, a monster hunting origin story. Younger guy, man, just tearing it up with his comic creation. And the reason why I wanted to make sure that I include this is because it's starting to show this emphasis on sort of like a manga-like product, sort of an anime-like product, right? And like I say, that's not necessarily what I do, but I got to have respect for, look, this is what's hot right now.
Yeah.
Dennis, do you have
Very
any thoughts
popular
about
these
that?
days.
Let's take a look down through, and I'll show you what I mean. It's a very, first of all, I love the bright colors. Got a great colorist there.
Yeah.
But like, look at even the lettering.
style.
It's like a manga style book.
There's been a whole handful of people that I know personally that are moving away from Western comic and more into manga style this year. Just this year, at least 3 or 4 that I know. So it was interesting, that's been more of a focus.
Yeah, you can't say as you blame them, right?
No.
Yeah. Tom, what's your thoughts on that?
The manga stuff is not for me. I understand why people dig it. I mean, I'm old enough that I remember when the manga stuff was coming over and it was a big deal at the time. But it never connected for me. But there's clearly an audience. The question is more, I guess, like if you're going to make a manga, the question is not so much like why would you make a manga, is how are you going to tap that manga market?
Right.
Sometimes if you go into the manga market, you're now leaving the Western audience behind, because the Western audience doesn't necessarily follow into the manga world. So if you're going to go manga and you're going to go sort of full manga, you got to have sort of that. I'm hoping that he has the idea of like how to really market it to that specific audience so you can get them, sort of riled up for a new style manga book.
This is Icarus Metro Comics. We'll keep an eye out for them. They're one of the rising talents. Travis, what's your thoughts on the manga style stuff?
I am also old like Tom and have the same opinions as Tom, because we're old and we have the same opinions because we read and loved the same things growing up.
Right.
Continue. Right. Matt's a little younger. Maybe he can help.
Matt, how about you?
That's the nicest thing that you've ever said to me.
It's all you're getting too, Matt. It's all you're getting.
Well, I definitely I don't have any problem with some of the art stylings of manga. We do have a manga art team that does some very variant covers with us that we cross promote on. But yeah, to get into that style, like I look at the art and I look at the way even just the word bubbles are laid out in manga. I'm like, I don't know if I could write something and put it out in that specific vein and not feel like a poser, not feel like Travis said about some of somebody else's books, where it's like just putting it out to put it out into that market and not really feeling like I'm living this and I really am passionate about it. But I can see why people are into it, because it's very, very simple reads, a lot of art with very little word bubbles at times. But yeah, I think that it definitely looks good for what it is, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Next up, this is Mary Shelley's School for Monsters. This is by Jessica Mason. I'm a huge fan of her work, and she's actually a sci-fi person too. She's been on the podcast a couple of times. But I like the art style that was developed for this book. Dennis, are you familiar with this one?
You know what? I heard whispers and rumors about this book a while back, and I was very, very excited for it. I'm a big Mary Shelley fan, regardless. So it's like Frankenstein, anything in that vein, I'm all for it. So, I mean, the artwork looks great. I'm sure, like the letters are. Oh yeah, this looks amazing.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
I really love the art style. The temperature is great.
Dig that lettering.
Like
I always like the
old
reverse
school,
lettering.
Victorian vibe, which I like. No, this is great. I love it.
What do you think, Lori? I guessed you'd probably like this.
I do. I like, well, you know me, Tim. I love horror. I say this a lot. I was like, I like sci-fi, I like horror, I like post-apocalyptic stuff. But anytime I also like when you get like a classic, a new spin on a classic, seeing something in a new light. So I like the dark tone, very foreboding. I would definitely read this. I love the style to it. Absolutely.
Yes, that's a nice job on that book.
Show us more.
What do you think, Tom? What do you think, Tom?
I mean, I've never heard of this, but it's a good looking book. I would probably be willing to give this a run just by seeing it just like this. Oh, there's a little more color to it. I like this.
Yeah.
For me, again, I'm old, man. I'm always wary of anything with school in it. I was like, I've done the school thing. It's too much. I've seen Harry Potter. I've seen all this school stuff. So I would be curious to see how we do the school part. It might drive me out of it, but from a visual sense and such, I like what I'm seeing. It looks really great. It's got its own vibe to it. Very unique. And, I'm interested.
Well, I guess that's the best.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Travis, what do you
School
think?
for Monsters. I'm immediately like, oh my God, is this Twilight? Is this Harry Potter? Like, what is this? But it could be beyond what I'm expecting, and that would be the hope.
Twilight on this show.
So,
Boot.
Oh, I like that blue.
So
Yeah,
Tim,
that's awesome.
I have backed everything except for the Oni thing thus far, because manga and me do not mix well.
Gotcha.
But this one I have right near me because I love it so much. Really,
Nice.
I think it was like 2 or 3 on my list this year when I did my list. I don't remember, but it's on my list of this year. This book was surprisingly good. It was targeted towards young adults. It is not young. It is young adults, but it's written. It's one of those books that were like young adults is a marketing term, not necessarily a definition of what you should take from this book.
Okay, sure.
It is so good. Jessica is miles above some of us. Like, she is such a good writer. Like this, she should be in the mainstream right now. She is so good.
Right.
I cannot recommend this enough. I'm gonna buy everything she ever puts out because she is amazing. She's so good.
What if she put out a manga?
Then she betrayed me and my people. She's dead to me.
Manga Mary Shelley coming next year.
Yeah, I'm a fan of her work. That's
Oh, yeah, this is
Jessica
beautiful.
Mason, guys. If you want to go and check that out, that's
Oh,
good
for sure,
stuff.
yeah.
So, hey, I wouldn't be doing my part if I didn't tell you guys about these new plushies that are coming from my friend Carissa Grant.
Oh,
and
yeah, I love her.
I
She's so
wanted to
good.
mention her because Travis was mentioning earlier about the hardest working people in comics.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's always busting her butt.
Chris is
I
just
have a lot
on
of
fire.
respect for
She's
her.
just on fire. And this is her new thing, which it's a collection of plushies, right? And you have the choice of like, there's even some like 3D printed weapons and this kind of thing. And well, I guess the first thing I wanted to ask you guys is let's tie it into a round of questions. Like, you know, the importance of having quality merch is one of the elements of the way we run our businesses. So, Dennis, what do you think about something like a plushie that's based on a supernatural hellhound?
I mean, merch is very tricky, man. You have to have the right sweet spot because you have to have the right numbers for like your merchandise, the quantity. You don't want like box and merch sitting around in your apartment or your warehouse or whatever. So the plushies, everybody loves a plushie. I think they're very marketable. Actually, she's been posting a lot of her book on Facebook, and I've been like following and sharing. And I love the artwork. The artwork's amazing. So yeah, I would definitely buy one of these.
Yeah, pretty cool. What do you think, Lori? Lori, you're a merch queen. You're coming up next.
Okay, good. Carissa is the queen of merch, and she's been doing these plushies since the beginning, and now I think they've kind of become popular, and other people are now doing plushies because she has honestly changed the way that people market their Kickstarters.
Yeah,
because
for
of
sure.
This.
Yeah.
And she's still waiting for me to do my Big James plushie, which I promised her I would someday. But people love these. People love them. There's no denying that. And I mean, you can see how popular they are because she's, you know, all of us have been doing the book thing, and now her plushies have taken on a life of their own. She has a Kickstarter for just the plushies because that's how popular they are. So sometimes you have to, it's just a matter of finding your niche and finding what's popular with your crowd and then running with it, because this is amazing.
I agree.
In my opinion.
Yeah, and total sweetheart of a person. I hope it's okay if I mention that too. Yeah, Chris is awesome. Tom, what do you think? You got some merch rocking over there. I know you do the action figures now, right?
We do the action figures. No, we did a action figure. It was hell, and you know, it came out great. So you know, we'll eventually get back to it. But yeah, Dennis is right. Merch is a tricky thing. But crowdfunding kind of changes the trickiness to it, because if you're crowdfunding it and you have a goal, you know, I need $10,000 to make so many pieces of merch, you can fund it. And now, granted, again, might still have some boxes in your garage for a little while, but at least you can then take it to cons and, you know, add it to your future campaigns. Like when we do Critter in January, our leftover figures will be part of that campaign now, so we can sort of build the brand and the awareness of it. So yeah, I think and it's cool. I've seen people doing just prints on Kickstarter now, like, hey, we're doing exclusive prints. Now we've got plushies, we've got toys, we've got, you know, Kickstarter is becoming the all-encompassing indie go-to for everything at this point. And I think it's cool. And I've seen her videos. So I've seen her playing with the things live, and they look amazing. Like the designs are great. The quality looks great. So this is awesome. I'll be really curious to see how it all plays out.
Yeah. She's
How about you, Travis?
Of our group.
She's kind of a what? What's that?
She's kind of the guinea pig of our group. She's always trying stuff first, and we're all watching like, it's not going to work. So
how about you, Travis? Do you do
I love Carissa. I will never, ever say a bad thing about Carissa. I help her out. She's one of the rising stars. She works harder than all the men out there. Not all of them. All of us. She works harder than all of us. But this plushie business has got to stop. It's everywhere. Everyone's using plushies and putting them on their campaigns. I don't need a Stalker War plushie. I don't need an Anubis plushie. I don't need a Hound. I don't need any of this nonsense.
Okay, Travis with the hot take. Yep. Shots fired.
That just sounds like you're jealous you didn't do it first, Travis.
Yeah. Next, Travis will be saying that he doesn't like cosplayers at his booth.
I've said that, Tim. You were there.
I know you. Oh.
I'm an old crotchety man who just wants floppies.
He just wants you to get off his lawn, okay? Just get off of his lawn.
Matt, you by the way, Matt, you got to chime in here. You got a merch empire. We're coming to you here next. So.
Let me tell you, I remember really one of the very first shows that I ever did with Travis. He's like, dude, are you setting up a table for your books, or are you setting up a concert merch booth? And I'm like, yep. And that's pretty much the case, because, you know, having metal music and all that, you know, I come from the world of you got to have T-shirts and you got to have the albums, and we got CDs and records. But I think that one of the biggest things is whatever your merch is, make sure it's on brand. Because if you're just like, I'm just going to go get into, I want to go like make a plushie, and it doesn't make sense with your brand. Like I don't know if anybody wants to see a Broke Down in 4 Dead Bodies plushie. Now, I will say I have seen the Broke Down in 4 Dead Bodies Muppet puppet that Travis has, which is freaking amazing. But I don't know if have you ever shown people that, Travis?
I mean, I've shown people in the past. I mean, I could go get it if it's necessary.
I think you should, dude. I think that this panel wants to see it because that is one of the coolest pieces of merch you've ever had.
It's gonna take a minute, so go on to the next thing. It'll take a minute.
Oh, it's freaking amazing.
I'll tell you this: as far as the plushies go, I've seen some weird stuff, man. There was this one booth at San Diego Comic-Con where they were doing plushies of like diseases. Like you can get a plushie gonorrhea disease, you know, like I mean, it's ridiculous, and people were just lose their minds over that stuff. So
and here's the thing: but who wants?
Somebody the other day had a plushie croissant. It was literally just a croissant plushie.
Can you imagine somebody coming over for a holiday, coming over for Christmas, and little Johnny's like, "Hey, Uncle Ned, what's that of on the shelf? Oh, that's my gonorrhea plushie."
That's my gonorrhea, yeah.
I just imagine the conversations are going to happen at dinner over that one.
Conversation starter for sure.
Well, let's circle back to, and I'm glad you're here, Matt. Because in my house, we would have said, I am Cheeto, but I didn't know if it was keto or Cheeto.
Keto.
Keto, like with a K.
Yes, it's keto with a K.
Okay, gotcha. So, you had sort of started on the subject of merch, but, I mentioned, I wanted to mention you guys having a merch empire as well. You have all like the concert table, like Travis said. So what are some of your better selling merch items right now?
So we've got a leatherworking team called GB Leatherworks that does a lot of licensed merch for us. So I think for the last 5 or 6 releases we've had, there's been some kind of something that they've done where it could be like a traveler's pouch that goes along with Heirs of Isildur. We've done full-size wearable dragon masks for Tales from Nocturnia.
That's one I saw. That's really cool.
We did all kinds of leather work for I Am Keto for that campaign, hair bands and eye patches, and we have one of the logos for the one of the bad guys, which is called the Soul Ripper's little sticker. And they're like, dude, we can make a full-size wearable mask out of that. We're like, dude, go for it. I'm not sure how many people are going to want it because it's a $300 leather mask, but people bought it. Hey, rock on. You know what I'm saying? And so as long as it's on brand, I mean, that we're going to have it at our table for sure.
Well, and that's, since you brought it up, that's sometimes where I have issues, at least with my product, because a lot of things for me are what I would consider off-brand, right? The only thing, and I told this story briefly before, which is to have it was a marching cap. It was like a Soviet marching cap, and it would have the Water Wars logo. But I'm having a nice conversation with the lady about the stitching and what type of fabric and this and that. And I went, you know what, man, I don't want to be a hat maker. And by the way, that's no offense to anybody's merch. I get it. It helps you make money, but I didn't want to do it.
Well, sometimes that stuff is just for your branding. You know,
right.
You want someone to wear that hat that says your logo right on it, or a shirt that has your logo on, or whatever. That's just instant branding. If you can get them to walk around the Comic-Con and
bless you.
Thank you.
Hey, what's that on your shirt? Oh, go talk to that guy. He's over there.
Right.
Yeah, and we do some of that stuff. I do the bags with our company logo stamped on the side. Hey, do you need a bag? Everybody needs a bag.
Yep.
We did that in Baltimore. Okay, so let's circle back to I Am Keto. Matt, tell us who will love this book.
So I Am Keto is, like we said, it's like Soul Calibur and Mortal Kombat meets Mad Max. It's set in the fictional Far East. It is a spin-off from Heirs of Isildur. The guy in the very front that's wearing the white jacket is the character Keto, who got pulled through a portal into our apocalyptic steampunk sci-fi tale. And we always thought that he was going to be really cool to have an origin story out there. And we had only thought it was going to be about a 10 to 12 page story in the Perilous Prospects in that trade paperback. But as we started to put the story together, we realized there was way more meat on that bone than was going to be able to be told, and it deserved to have its own volume. So this is going to be an 80-page graphic novel. It's at the printer right now. If you followed our social media over the past couple of days, I got off the phone with the printer last Thursday morning. 2 minutes after I got off the line with him, I heard ka-clunk, 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 and the drive that had all of my active working files on crashed. So we were within 24 hours of going to the printer, and the drive with all the active working files crashed. What you just showed was released a few weeks beforehand, which is the first chapter of the graphic novel. So we did, for 3 days, rebuilt everything from backups and previous files and got it off to the printer. It's actually there and in the print queue at the moment.
Oh, thank God.
I'm
Oh,
glad
that's
everything-
the worst story ever. I'm so sorry.
Well, thank you. But yes, it was. It sucked. I was pretty disgusted when that happened. So yeah, I literally got phone the printer. I'm like, hey man, I messaged him like, hey, so that thing we just talked about, yeah, scrap all of it. I have to rebuild everything. But so the story follows Kido Ascatoyo, who is in the Yamaran Empire, and it covers everything in his life before he gets called into a portal into the Heirs of Isildur world. He is a twin brother of his brother Kenji, and in the Yamaran Empire, the firstborn in a household has a place of special significance. For Kido, he was born a few minutes after his brother, so he's not considered a firstborn, and so he's not getting all the benefits and all the praise that these firstborn get. And he's perfectly fine with that because he's never known anything different than being 3 minutes away from being a firstborn. So he's helping all of his friends that are firstborn in their family to prepare to for the eye of the emperor to see if they can become a part of his elite guard. And that's where that first chapter that you just showed, Tim, that's where it covers is the things things that lead up to that. And the lyric video for Spiral into Madness, which is the theme song that we wrote for it, covers one of the big twists about what happens when the emperor goes to see if these firstborn are ready to show their worthiness to be in his elite guard.
That sounds good, man. Wish you every success with that. I'm a fan of your music stuff too, as you know. And we got a new song here coming out this week. I'll keep you guys posted on that. We'll keep the train chugging along on the tracks here. We'll have, let's see, like that. There we go. Path of the Pale Rider. I have great news, everybody. I actually have the author of this book here, and she can tell us a little bit about it. My quick comment is going to be, Lori, and at first I didn't know that you were 100% going to be here, and I'm glad you're here. But one of the things I like about Path of the Pale Rider is it does the things a little bit differently. It's a little more interactive. It's a little bit more multimedia. I like the clues and stuff like that. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that while I grab my drink.
Sure. Path of the Pale Rider is a Western apocalypse series, and we're just stuck on the cover because Tim walked away, so you can't see the rest of it, guys. You're stuck here. But it's in a world where death has been broken, so your body can die, but your soul doesn't leave your body upon death. So it's a different take on like zombieism because you're literally rotting. Your brain is rotting. But as you're going through that decay process, you're losing your humanity. It's like dementia and fast forward, right? Because you get forgetful or violent or vegetative, detached. And this is not just people, it's animals, insects, fish. Nothing can die correctly anymore. So we start the series 10 years into that apocalypse, and things have devolved back to the Wild West. And we're following kind of like the last guy who gives a damn, who is still looking for the answer of why did the dead no longer die. So we do something different, like Tim said. It's like we have the comic, but we also, on the back of every issue, the back cover is a riddle. And if you solve the riddle, you get to interact with the world like it's real. Oh, wow. So it might take you to a digital space or a hidden video on YouTube, or if you solve the riddle and email the answer to the Path of the Pale Rider email, something shows up in your mailbox from one of the characters. You can interact with the characters like they're real.
Wow, that's cool.
Thank you. And then on top of that, we also do short films. So I do a short film for every issue, and we kind of tackle, it's like a deep dive into some of the issues that maybe we don't elaborate. Like, for example, Jude St. Clair's mom passes. Right? But what does that mean in this world? So we get to see that, and we get to see a short glimpse of what his family goes through. But the short film that I'm working on now is like a day in the life of this nuclear family where the father passes away in the first 10 seconds of the film. So what happens to the house? What happens to the kids? What happens when he starts to lose his memory? You know what I mean? Like how everything just starts to break down, and kind of the ethical questions that are created by the situation. We do a deep dive. And what I love about these is the fans get to interact with them. So either I will film on location and people can come and I'll set dates, or they can film themselves and send it to me and I will edit it into the film. The last one we did, if they wanted to participate, they just had to take a a creepy selfie, and I zombified 40 people for the credits of this one. So the credits roll. You can see yourself in your zombified form in this next short film. So this is something
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool, Lori.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a backer of this project too.
Cool.
I know. So we're finishing up number 4 right now, like chomping at the bit. Poor Marco's like, Lori with the hot
When will number 4 come out?
Slated to finish next month.
Okay, great.
We were hoping to finish by the end of the year, but poor Marco was like, Lori, you're killing me with these spread pages and your 17,000 people in these scenes. Sorry, dude. All right, you do it. I want. More important is for it to be done right than to rush it out the door. So
yeah, I agree.
Doing some really amazing work in this next one, and then we'll put it together for a trade early in 2024 as well. So,
congrats, Lori. I love what you're doing.
Yeah, looks great.
Hey, man, I hope one day you'll want to make a Western Path of the Pale Rider. Maybe we'll make an original song.
I was just going to say, we need to talk about that. I need some music, and I would love to bust my electric cello out, and we could work on some music for Path.
That's the new thing. Some of you guys know that. I told Matt a little bit. So for next year, we're going to be doing even more songwriting, and Creative Cranium is going to start doing musical guests too. The next one after you guys is the songwriting episode. So let's take a look at Mittens Space Pilot. Yeah, I'm a huge Mittens fan. Now, this is, Greg Moquin, who is Seer Nova Comics. They do a couple of cool things. And I also wanted to mention, they do their online comic convention at the end of, it's over Thanksgiving every year. And it's always a lot of fun. So I just want to thank those guys for doing that. So what do you think of this, Dennis?
I actually know Greg for a long time. Great guy, constantly working, constantly putting stuff out. I like Space Mittens because it's like a feel good. It's like it's charming, you know.
It is.
Like, it's something you like gives like your little nephew, like for Christmas or something like that. It's very like kid friendly. I love the colors. The art style is very simple, but it's like detailed, which I like. It's a very good book.
Nice.
Mittens.
What do you think, Lori?
My kids love this one. I got this specifically. Like, I enjoyed it too. Like, I always read everything before I let my kids read it, just to be sure. So we all have a blast with this one. This one is their favorite. And then I gotta send a shout out to Stan Vera and his There's an Alien in My Toilet.
Oh yeah, I know those guys. They're
this series is great because it's like it's sci-fi. It's sci-fi. They're in space and it's great, but it's like meow 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 cat. So we have a blast with this too, so it's always fun. It's different than the cats in Tom's book. That's different. Different cats.
Yeah. They sort of have this monochromatic color scheme. It's a little bit of a bold decision. What do you think of that, Tom?
I mean, a lot of that just depends on the art, right? Sometimes the art can carry it, sometimes it can't. This seems like it's fine. All age. I'm assuming this is an all ages book. All ages books are always interesting to see, how well they do, just kind of in general, because it's oftentimes a harder sell, particularly on Kickstarter. This has been a discussion for a long time. Is Kickstarter more for the sort of adult market? I don't mean like adult market, but just like adults here, because kids don't have credit cards, stuff like that. So, you would assume that this is parents buying it for themselves or for their kids. So, but it looks like he had like 250 backers and did like
I think this was their biggest title. I think it was.
So that's a great sign that you can create something that is like an all ages thing and it can do well. That's great.
Yeah.
Cats.
Travis, you a Mittens fan?
Cats. Oh, look who it is.
Let me.
Who that?
I would have them talk, but I don't want to be canceled.
Hey!
I've talked in the past, and I've got close to being canceled, so let's avoid it. But yes, this is my wife knows I love Muppets, and this is my character as a Muppet in Denver from Burke Down 40 Buddies.
Very cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's really amazing.
I told you guys that was worth. I told you guys that was worth getting them on camera. Wasn't it?
That's great.
Just watch the camera.
So, Travis.
I like. Oh, hello.
That's really cool, man.
He is pretty cool.
Wow.
I like him.
Congratulations. Yeah.
So Mittens is a good book. Greg did a great job. However, I would be remiss to not say that it's not an issue of ink, so I'm not sure why it exists, but that's fine. That's a personal joke between Greg and I.
Gotcha.
Matt knows that. He's seen me yell it enough times.
Oh yeah.
Okay, next up, take a look at Terrence Grace's book. This is The Locksmith.
Ooh,
Volume
yes,
5
yes,
just came
yes,
out.
yes.
It's kind of, I'll start off first because this one's kind of hard to describe. It's a crime thriller, but it's like a Lovecraftian, it's like a monster tale underneath of it all, but it's written as sort of a noir thriller. I think this team did a terrific job on this book.
Yeah.
And some of the artwork is really kind of unsettling. You dig that one, Dennis?
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, I'm a big noir fan, so it's like when I picked this one up, I was like, wow, this is great. I mean, the color scheme is great. Gritty artwork, really reflected the story. I love the colors. It was a great book. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, and it's 5 volumes so far.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Right? Yeah.
This looks amazing.
Oh yeah.
And it's like disturbing too. Like when you read it, it really, yeah. It takes like twists at you.
I like disturbing.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, so that's from Terrence Grace. Man, I got
great job.
What do you think, Lori? Does that seem like your cup of tea? I bet you it is.
Yeah, I think so. I think it. Yeah. Well, I mean, just based on that little bit of art that I saw, it looks really nice. I would definitely back this and follow this. Yeah, right there. HP Lovecraftian horror. I'm there.
Yeah. Love the vibes.
What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, it's got a unique art style. You're gonna know what you're looking at when you see it. That's really good. There's nothing ordinary about it. So that's great. And when you say 5 volumes or 8, what did you say? 8 volumes?
I think it's 5 so far.
So 5 volumes, like 5 issues or 5 volumes?
It's 5. Each one is oversized. It's kind of like what you would say giant size. I think, and correct me in the comments if I got this wrong, but I think it's 5 40-pagers.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Hi, Quentin.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's giant. That's great though. No one's making extra size comic like the jumbo size comics anymore. You know?
I think it should be because it's like sometimes you have so much story. Like I'm working on a double issue right now for Strange World Comics, and the thing is like we wrote issue 0, so okay, but it's not enough action, so we're actually adding on to it to make it like a double giant size issue.
Oh yeah, gotcha. Next, I've got actually, did you want to share anything, any other guys, about this book?
I don't know about this book, Tim. This is shocking to me. This is the first book on the list that I have never seen before, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful book. And I back, I'm over 1,000 back, so I back pretty much everything on Kickstarter, I feel like.
Right.
But man.
I can tell you what I know about Terrence, and he's a hell of a cool guy too, but he's a West Coaster, and he's also a photographer, and I guess he used to be in a punk band.
Wow.
See, this is someone who I need to recruit to my over empire of holiday spirits and Cthulhu Invades, like somebody who could do this kind of talent and quality for a book.
I met up with him, I guess the first time I crossed paths with him, we were both in one of Russell Nolte's books.
Okay.
Pretty sure. I think he was in volume 2 and I was in volume 3. It might be that.
Well, I was in volume 2, so maybe I'll have.
Yeah, you guys are chapter mates.
Let me confirm that in my diary.
If anybody feels like Googling it. Hey, Quentin, how are you, buddy? Nice to see some viewers out there keeping it real.
Very nice, very nice.
So we'll jump over. This is a guy by the name of Dan Schmidt with Worms Crawl Out. Yes. And I'm pretty sure it's 2 volumes, right? It's Worms Crawl In and Worms Crawl Out. But look at this book. It's crazy, man. Yeah. It's like all this super
digging the art,
super pencil art. That's just a little bit of preview art, but the panels are like that too.
Yeah, but that looks great, man. It's really interesting how like he works with a negative space in this one. I like it.
Yeah. They've done a terrific job there. And he's on the Kickstarter circuit too. Do you guys know him? I'll see if I'll get you an image of that. What do you think about black and white books in general?
I think they're underappreciated because if it's done right, a black and white book can really, really like stand out, especially if it has a gritty noir story. I think the black and white really, really pulls it together.
Yeah. I like black and white stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This book
one is, yeah, if you look at it, it's a lot of dark spaces, like Dennis said, negative
Look at
spaces,
that.
really well
This is
used.
Crazy.
I'm sorry, go ahead if I interrupted somebody.
No, it's okay.
No, he's been working on this book forever. Between the 2 volumes, and he loves it. He's got a great story there. I'm very happy that it found a second home with the publisher this year, which is very, very cool. I don't remember the name of the publisher off the top of my head, but I did get it. Blood Moon, maybe? Maybe I'm wrong. No. It's a new one, a new horror imprint out of England, which is pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's a really good book. Very, very happy. I've already hired him for a Burke down thing next year, which is pretty exciting.
Nice.
Oh, nice. So got hired out of the deal too. Very cool. Very cool. Matt, you got any thoughts on black and white comics?
We already talked about Drumstick of Doom, so I think that if it's done right, it can be done really well. And this is one of those that I think definitely looks really, really good. I think that for a black and white comic to work, in my personal opinion, how you can see here that it's not a lot of crazy choppy lines in the background. There's
right.
you can clearly see where the word bubbles and the text is, which I think is key, because if you've got too busy a black and white art and then you throw a black and white word balloon on top of it, it can make it tough. But I think that they did a really good job there of making it where you can still read it and still really understand what's going on in the art.
Giving away all the secrets of making comics, man.
Yeah.
There's something about knowing the secret and being able to execute the secret.
Very true.
Yeah. The two are very different things.
I feel attacked by that statement, Lori. Please explain.
We'll do that at another show. Feel free to come on a Tuesday morning, Burke. We'll discuss in detail.
Next up, we got The Fog Within. This is from Sean Wood. Welcome to the Rebellion. So he's got a sci-fi tale that came out in 2023. This is his successful Kickstarter. I just received it not too long ago. It was good. For a first effort, very solid. Got a pretty solid penciler there with David Dion, which some of you guys know that I work with him. But yeah, well done. Great colors, great pencils.
Yeah, I think you're under giving it credit, man. I think as a rookie for its first book out, this is amazing. It has some pacing issues, but it has no issues with the art or the story. All of it's very exciting. It's really just pacing, which you cannot. It's not self-taught. You got to learn it. You got to do it to learn it. But he killed it. I mean, even got advice from Scott Snyder. I mean, took the time to really, really get this. Asked him a lot of advice, asked me a lot of advice.
Yeah.
The guy really wants to learn. Kudos with the work. I'm so proud of this book. I'm so happy that it funded because it struggled. We had to push it towards the end. But hopefully he gets a huge fan base because the guy's going places. He's really, really talented.
And yeah, again, I got to point out, Travis is 100% right. Sean's a sweetheart of a guy. And man, he came to the convention and he went out of his way to meet everybody and to do his network and doing his due diligence. And obviously we want to see him succeed. Now I was proud of him too, man, because he was, we Travis and I sort of took him under our wing a little bit. And it was a fun experience, I think, for everybody the whole way around. Congrats, Sean Wood. Your book's terrific. Anybody want to add any thoughts on that? I'll give one more little scroll here.
Reminds me of Cyberpunk and X-Men is what it was.
Very much so. And there's a Raymond Lee cover if you guys like Raymond Lee, which I sure do. And it also has an element too, guys, of, and again, I mean, this is a compliment. It's a little bit of like a G.I. Joe vibe, meaning that it has sort of like the named characters and they're in squads and so forth, which I just always think that's neat and just really a lot of fun.
Nice detail.
Yeah. Little details matter.
Yes.
So we're very excited to see that one coming together. What do you think, Matt? You like that one?
I think that the art in there is ridiculous. I think that the look of it, like Travis said, is it was shocking. I remember when Travis was starting to promote this comic. When I looked at that, I'm like, man, this is for a first time campaign. Definitely looking forward to see what he does to top himself as he goes forward. If he's going to come out of the gates with that kind of issue.
Yeah, to keep the machine running. That's gonna be the hard part.
He's coming out after that critter money, Tom. Hide.
Can't touch
Specifically Critter. He said he's not going to threaten my money or Matt's money or Tim's money. Specifically Critter. It was really weird. I don't know why he has such a grudge against you.
Well, good luck, partner, because we're going all Critterverse next year. So you gotta chase. You gotta chase.
So, hey, next up, we got Periwinkle. This is actually one of the Bad Bug properties. I was impressed to see this one. I'm actually a fan of some of their work. The, it's a little bit of an edgy story, I would say. That not particularly maybe the most family-friendly Christmas. Do you have any thoughts on Christmas stories in general, Dennis?
I'm a big fan of Christmas. That's actually my favorite holiday. So it's interesting when they take a spin on like a family holiday like that, like make it dark. Or put like a horror spin to it. This looks really, really good, actually. Yeah,
the artist they got is incredible, man. Yeah. This is written actually by Scott Wilkie. How you doing, Scott? We've collaborated one time. He's a good fella. But this book, man, is sort of like their home run, I would say, because it's one of the broader audience books.
Sure.
I don't necessarily go in for some of their books are what you and I might consider kind of erotic. It's not necessarily aimed at me, but I get it that it's a thing. But this is like their edgy Christmas tale, and I feel they nailed this assignment.
Yeah,
Hey Travis, do you know of any other books that might be out that take holidays and put a horror spin on there? Do you have any ideas? Is there another one out there that you know of?
I feel that's an affront to Jesus, who died. Died. He was born on Christmas, so I wouldn't do it. But I know there's one called Holiday Spirits up, but I wouldn't look at that Kickstarter. Whoever put that together is really a horrible person.
I think it's a guy named Jeremy Gagnon. Is that his name?
Yeah, Jeremy Gagnon.
Gagnon.
Famous letterer Jeremy Gagnon. Ringo Noma. No, Holiday Spirits is great. I love this book.
Yes.
In fact, I invited him to be part of future issues, and I think he's going to do the forward for this one as well. Periwinkle's a great story, a lot of fun. I love horror. Horror and Christmas go really well together. They shouldn't, but it does.
Yeah.
Weird. It's weird how easy it just goes together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, we have Holiday Spirits. And you know what, Tim? I'll give you an announcement. You ready for an announcement?
Yeah, man.
I hired Tom Hutchinson today. Because I hire people. That's what I do. And when I hired him to be part of Holiday Spirits 4, which we're announcing because I told people I wasn't going to do it, but we are. It's going to be called Monsters Batch, and it's going to have tons of monsters from Dracula to Kong, which Tom is going to be doing, from Frankenstein's monster, Bride of Frankenstein, all the Universal monsters, not Universal because, public domain and all that, but all of them are going to be there. It's going to be fun.
That sounds like fun.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds really up my alley, actually.
Yeah, we hired a whole bunch of people for it today. So it's really exciting, and I think it can be a contender to really take down some of that Cthulhu Invades money. I think it could be that big.
Okay.
It sounds like a hit, man. It sounds like a hit. So let's see who we got next. I'm sorry, I got a little bit off a track there while we were talking.
I got excited about Tom here.
I get that way too. So next up, let's see. That is this one. That's Alma. Now this is by John Holland. Take a look at this. I'm going to give you a little scroll here.
This looks creepy.
Yeah, right?
Very much so. I like it.
Grandma. What is Grandma doing?
What if Buffy, the vampire slayer, was a 72-year-old grandmother?
Oh.
All right. I'm hooked.
Things would get done a lot quicker.
Check out the art, though. It's cool, man.
3 moves instead of 7.
Isn't that what Once Upon a Time was about? You guys probably maybe not have read that. Or Once in Future. Sorry, the Boom book.
Oh. I was like, Once Upon a Time.
I don't know.
There's a flying shark. That's you always buy things with sharks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think
that's what I tell all of my customers. Like whenever I do my live sales, if I see a shark in a book, I point it out to them, and I will invariably sell it because there's a shark in it. So A+, I'm putting a shark in your book.
There you go.
Cupid versus shark.
Yeah. Tricks of the trade.
Yeah, it's fun to do these exercises, you know, and Travis knows I don't always know what to do to try and help indie creators, but I know I want to do something. And it's like you say, I had this submission. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. But same thing, I hadn't heard of. This is by John Holland. So it's like, this one was new for me.
Yeah, this is not the John Holland that I know. The John Holland that I know does not do this type of book, which is pretty cool. Because I thought we were talking about a different book from John Holland.
Oh.
Shark.
Hey, yeah, Tom, I'm gonna challenge you here. Misfits Clubhouse are all ages titles. Saturday morning cartoons in comic form. There is Bruce McTutherson, aquatic investigator. He is a shark, good sir.
There you go. See, Matt's got the hack.
Boom.
Sharks.
I have hacked into Tom Hutchinson's Critter Money.
I'm telling
Yes!
you. I'm telling you.
The secret. Fog within. We need a shark in that fog. Fog is just water, kind of. So sharks can live there.
Yeah, it's just floating water. It's fine.
Speaking of sharks, hold that.
I think that's Sharknado logic, right? That
Yes.
if it were for Sharknado, it would work for that.
That's right.
I'm going to
Dude,
use
this
this
book-
as a.
See,
this as a
going back
segue.
to when we talked about that other book, though, we talked about the two other ones that were black and white. That one felt like I wanted it colored so bad. Versus the other ones I felt like were toned to make it black and white. That one I was like, I wish this was colored.
You know, since it came up, I will give my opinion. I actually love black and white books. I do, but I'm not sure they can survive in today's market.
All right.
It's
take
very
Very, very
variable. I mean, look
niche.
at The Walking Dead, right? I mean, Walking Dead. It was black and white through its whole thing, and now what are they doing? They're actually going back and recoloring the damn thing now,
Colored
which is
everything,
kind of
yeah.
crazy. But I think it's all within the tone of the book, you know. And Travis is right. It's like I think it worked black and white, but it definitely was a very stark black and white versus like the tones and you know some of the blacks and so on that lifted the previous books that we saw. So I think that one could exist either way, but I think it would be really interesting to see that shark floating through the air and having different colors for, you know, what was going on. And yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I actually kind of prefer it in many ways, but the truth is, you know, it's usually a cost thing that makes it not, that's why they
Right.
do it. It's
Sure.
not really because of artistic purity. It's like in the Walking Dead case, it was because they didn't have enough money. It was a nothing book
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah, but Pat Shan does Destiny New York, and it's black and white, and it's done on purpose. And he's got Pat Shan money.
I forgot
that's-
that.
that's
Yeah,
like-
I forgot
That's
that.
like Critter money. It's very similar.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, that's one of the things too. I almost asked Pat because, you know, he helped me with some coaching on the one I'm doing now. But then I thought we couldn't have too many Titans. It might take some thunder away from Travis.
Thanks.
Hey, so Shark of War, that's Ben Lacey, another hardworking guy in comics.
Yeah, I like Ben. Ben is cool.
Yeah, what do you guys think of this one?
I like sharks, so it looks fun. Like the tone.
This is a totally I have not seen the book like
I'm
in
in the
person or
script
anything, but I see this on somehow this is in my algorithm, probably because it's sharks. So every time this thing is around on Kickstarter, I am always seeing this dude's ads and his posts and everything. So this is a wild shark book. I mean, look, he's eating Apache helicopters and stuff. I mean, it's if you again, this is a just go book, right? It's like if you just want to just go, you don't want to worry about super heavy duty drama. It's sharks and he's eating people and he's got some guns. Like, just go.
Yeah.
What do you think,
Sometimes
Lily?
you don't want to have to think hard.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
entertain me. Blow shit up.
There you go.
Blow shit up and eat some dudes. It's,
Start with, I don't know, guns on it. Blow shit up.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, don't
and
overthink it, right?
I think we got to give kudos for Ben. He's been around probably 4 years, Matt. What do you say? 4 years, maybe 5?
Yeah. I think it's a bit.
Yeah, the guy, this started out as a digital comic, like with digital graphics, and it wasn't selling as well. And he's moved it to traditional art, paid the extra dime because he has a vision for this book. And I love people like who are willing, that they love the book so much whatever format it's going to take to get an audience, they're going to do that. So
Right.
I have so much respect for Ben, and I back every single one of these things. This is not my thing, giant sharks flying in the air, but I will give Ben money every time because I love a guy who's going to work his butt off to make sure it's stuff. And Carissa has plushies because, you know, that's what comics
Because of
are.
Carissa.
Well, and Ben too. Ben is one of those people, like, you know, we all want to see people be active in the community and trying to at least help and not just always be about me.
Right.
And Ben is one of those guys literally at the top of the list. Every single day, Ben is doing something, even if it's something small. For the
and
sake of
that's
all the
right.
other creators around.
Like
Yes.
I sometimes, you know, he keeps that spreadsheet of the
Yep.
ongoing projects. That's so kind of him. And of course, I always forget to put my name on it, and he like hooks me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he walks the walk, as we say.
Yeah,
Yes.
very true.
Hey, we were kind of on the subject of some black and white books, and I feel that I got to mention that and Aaron, if I murder your name, it's Aaron Wroblewski and Blood and Fire. Do you guys know this book?
This is new to me, but it looks great.
16th century Japan.
Ooh, I'm a sucker for a map.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the greatness
Just talk about
of the
maps
art.
and maps
So it's black, white, and red.
and blood. Black, white, and blood.
Yeah.
That's
The old Frank Miller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love Frank
No,
Miller.
no, you're right. Black.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Aaron. He's always one of my backers too, and I'm loving everything he does. And he's got this new one. It's a horror title, and I don't think it was released yet. But it's The Gray Man. Isn't that his book? Anybody know?
Yes.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been released yet, but yeah, that was in November. That was that relaunch, October, November, when I was doing my last Kickstarter. Yeah,
I might have missed that one, but I'm a fan of Blood and Fire, and I've done 1 or 2 videos on this book too. But I'm a fan of this type of thing. I don't know if you guys have seen the preview. There's a new series coming out, Shogun, which is going to be based on
Yes.
the. Yeah,
Nice.
any Shogun fans in the house?
Yes.
I'll watch
Yeah.
that. Heck yeah.
Yeah, I like the old one from the 80s even. It's great.
Yeah,
That's a good
Sword
series.
fighting, martial arts.
Yeah, it's samurai, and they're trying to. Yeah, they're all. It's got ninjas and assassins, and there's all kind of throat slitting and lots of betrayals. It's good stuff.
Totally there for that.
Spoiler alert. Jeez.
Better than the Notebook.
Your destiny is to never leave Japan, but my destiny is to become shogun. That's how it ends. Yeah, it's great stuff, man.
Nice.
If you like that, you'll like Aaron Wroblewski's Blood and Fire.
Nice.
Yeah, this
and I
is
think
great.
Blood and Snow comes out next year. I think that's the next one. Blood and
Yeah,
Snow.
Smoke and Ice or something like that, right? It's flipped around. Sorry, I got the name wrong, Aaron, but we'll pitch your next book too. I'll definitely support that one. So let's take a quick, we're kind of getting down toward the end here. I gotta give a shout out for the
Yes.
Boston Metaphysical Society.
I
Mystery
am
at
so
Pike Peak.
excited about this book.
This is from Madeline Holly Rosing, who's always super gracious and really been
She's
great
super
to me.
nice.
Yeah, I just love her, and she's always been very supportive of my writing too. So I'm a fan of her work. I dig the characters, and I also like I like how it has like a really subtle color palette. It's very kind of watercolorish.
Yes, I
And-
love watercolor. So good.
Yeah, it's just a really lovely book. What do you think, Dennis? Tell me your thoughts.
I'm a huge fan. I mean, I've been following her career for years now. I mean, actually, I checked out the Demon one that just came out recently. I checked that out. Love the color scheme. I love like the steampunk revolutionary vibe that she has going on. I love everything about this book.
Yeah. Lori,
And
how
this
about
is-
you?
This is another one that's kind of like fiction based in a historical time frame, and you get
Right.
to see like real people walking around, like Nikola Tesla. And
Right.
that is really interesting to me. Where again, they get to play with like history we know bits and pieces of, but maybe this is like feeding into some of the
Right.
the weirder things that we have heard, and maybe it's fantastic, but you don't know if it's true, and it's like built into the story, which I think is super cool. So.
Yeah. Nice job on that. Tom, what's your 2 cents?
I'm familiar with the book. I've seen it before, but I have not read any of it. But from what I've seen, it's a really nice looking book for sure.
Yeah, they did a nice job. They got a nice team. They also did some kind of thing this year where it was like an audio drama, or maybe that might have been
Yep.
the tail end of
No,
last.
no. She did audio dramas. I don't think it was for this book. I think it was for a previous one, but she definitely has got audio dramas and prose books and all kinds of stuff in the Boston Metaphysical Society universe.
Okay. I sometimes miss that. I got that somehow. I didn't get clued into that, but it sounds interesting. Travis, you a fan?
Oh, of course, hired her as well. I love her. I love her stuff. I love Madeline. I love her as a person. I love everything about the book. You know, I'm a New Englander. You know, I do Great Estate Punk and all that stuff. So I love everything about this book. And she's such a good. You know, she's not as active because of some personal issues. But
Right.
she's active in the community. Anyone can go to her, and she doesn't keep any. She wrote literally the book on how to help you fund your Kickstarter. There's literally a book on Amazon that she wrote. She was one of the first people to do it, help people.
Yeah.
You know, she's an amazing member of this community. She doesn't have a bad thing to say about anybody. Even when she said bad things to me privately, she apologizes for them after. So that's the type of person she is. Love her.
Yeah,
Love
me
this.
too. Me too. Matt, you want to have the final word on Boston Metaphysical? Look at that cover. Man, oh man.
Boston Metaphysical, Madeline, Steph, and I kind of feel like kindred spirits in a sense because we both write steampunk in that same kind of environment, even though our books and what we do between Boston Metaphysical and Heirs of Isildur are very, very different. When we first started off, she and Charlie Stickney, we probably spent 6 months going back and forth between the two of them because Stefan and Madeline had become friends and just soaked in everything they had to say like a sponge. And some of the stuff that we do that Madeline does, we didn't even realize that she was doing. Like one of the cool things about the Pikes Peak book, at the very end, there's some character bios, which we always put character bios at the end of our book. There's a lot of additional content. So you have the story, but then if you want to explore more than just the pages of the sequential art, you can get more into the universe. And that's something we like to do as well. So we kind of feel like maybe through osmosis, we picked up some really cool little tips like that from Madeline, even over and above the things that we talked about in the first place.
Oh, nice. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'm a fan. Well, guys, we got time for one more. Okay. We're going to close this down. We went a little over an hour, but that's okay. Pops didn't come and kick me off. Met a young man by the name of Frankie B. Washington. His book is called Kaijus and Cowboys. I love the title, so I promised him I would feature it on the air.
Okay.
And he's definitely got kind of a new and original kind of thing going here. And I just love the concept of Kaijus and Cowboys. Not too different. It's a little bit along the vein of, it has the feel of like a 70s underground comic to me.
Yeah.
Colorful.
Yeah. What do you think, Dennis?
These are like ash can vibes, like, you know, like first starting out, just like when they get it out there into the hands of people, just people to give it a try, check it out. I like the bright colors. Art style, it's simple, but it's detailed, which I like. I mean, I'll give it a try.
Yeah. I like the thick blacks. Lori?
I like that as well. It's the color that's grabbing me, and the art style kind of reminds me of like 90s cartoons, where they started. Everything was so detailed, and it kind of went away from that. I'm thinking more like Powerpuff Girls and stuff like that, where it's like it was more about the character, and then I don't know. I can't explain it because this isn't even quite that even. But I guess it's the colors that are grabbing me.
Yeah,
Where it's very bright and kind of over the top, colorful, that pulls you in. Can I see more?
Yeah.
And of course, anytime there's cowboys involved, I gotta read.
Right.
I love westerns.
Got some inventive panels.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah,
it's a Just Go book.
It works. Yeah, I would say it's a Just Go book.
It's a Just Go book, man. It's
Look,
going.
just boom.
I kind of dig it.
Very, very cartoon-esque, very, aware of what it is. And it's a good execution.
Yeah, for sure.
Kill all humans.
Travis, what's your 2 cents?
I like this book. I like their hustle. I know they've tried to get it to various publishers over the year. They worked really hard for it. I'd like to see a little bit more dialogue on it, but other than that, I do like the vibe of it. I do like that it's different. It's not something that you see every day, and I think that this artist particular plays to their strength. Right, you can tell they're really good at drawing monsters, really good at drawing robots. Just draw monsters and robots. If that's what you're good at, like do it.
Yeah,
like I love people who like get their style and they just stick with it because it definitely shows the love of that.
Love of the craft. Matt, you want to have the final word on this one?
I think that just by looking at it right now, the thing I like the most from this one is the SFX, more than the word bubbles, more than the art. I love that the SFX in the earlier panels seem like it's a part and an extension of the art, not one or the other. It's actually a part of the art, which is really neat.
Yeah, it looks like it's hand lettered. I don't know if it is, but it has a sense that they drew in that stuff. So yeah. It's different.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, so that is our top 25. Guys, I want to thank you for joining me in the yearly review of the Creative Cranium. Yeah, congrats to the artists who were being featured. And I actually had really a lot of fun going through it. And there was a couple, 2 or 3 that I hadn't even seen before. So thanks, people who submitted their titles right at the end of the campaign. So before we go, let's just go around the room one more time and we'll say where we can find your work. Dennis, we'll start with you.
Right now, my stuff is, Cross is in print right now. You can get that indieplanet.com. Strange World Comics, we are moving towards print. We're just trying to land on the printer and all that fun stuff. But I do post updates on Facebook a lot. And also, Strange World Comics has a Facebook page. Guys, please check it out for updates, support, and yeah, that's it for me.
Thanks for coming, Dennis.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
So, Lori, tell us a little bit about where we can find you.
Oh, I'm everywhere. But if you're looking to purchase a copy of Path of the Pale Rider, I suggest going to my website, which is just pathofthepalerider.com. If you're looking for updates of what I'm doing, I'm on all the socials. Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, TikTok, I'm everywhere. But the best one to go to is the Facebook group, Path of the Pale Rider. That's where we do like the polls and the shenanigans and we play games, and they kind of get like the best first updates before all the other socials.
And that's where we can go if we want to see you smash a pumpkin.
Yeah, if you want to see me smash pumpkins,
okay.
I do that for some of the stretch goals, and I do it live on the Tuesday morning brew, and then I'll post highlights in the group and then on my YouTube and TikTok. But
important information.
What's that?
Yeah, important information to know.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lori.
The Gallagher 2.0. We're working on. It's fun though because I let people pick like the weapon and they name the pumpkin before we go destroy it, so it's interactive.
Nice.
Yeah, so definitely find me there. Again, you can catch me on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to watch the Tuesday Morning Brew. Tom's been on the show. Toon's been on the show. You other guys are welcome to come on the show.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll have a blast. So catch me there.
Thank you. Thank you, Lori. So how about Tom Hutchison? Where can we find him? Say, for example, if we want to hear about the latest movies that he loves.
Yeah, so you can start with hashtag Tom Hates Everything. You can see whatever is going on in that regard. That's a real thing. Yeah, I basically live on Facebook for the most part. That's where kind of everything we do kind of starts, and then it disseminates out to, TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and all that. If you need to check out our books, bigdoginc.com. And if you like to sort of watch how the soup is made, you can go to patreon.com/bigdoginc, join the group that we have there. We post everything as it happens, pages, art, inks, colors, logos. They get to vote on stuff. They get bonus items as well. So if you like the process of comics, we kind of do a big portion of that on Patreon. But if you just want to kind of hang out and see what we're doing, Facebook, Instagram, X, all that kind of stuff.
Wonderful. Thanks for coming, Tom.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Mr. Travis Gibb, always a pleasure to see you. Tell us where we can find the latest Orange Cone products.
Well, you can find that on Kickstarter currently because that's Holiday Spirits. Volume 3 is on there. We've got some great creators on there. We've got a little guy called Cullen Bunn. Maybe you guys have heard of him. He's done a few books over the years. We've got Marchese Anafezzo from By the Horns. We've got Mario Candelaria. Why do these people have hard names I can't pronounce? David Byrne, a whole bunch of great people on that. So if you want to check that out, it is very cool. The rest of the stuff you can get at orangeconeproductions.com. That's a great place. But to find me and to know what's going on and search my soul a little bit, it's travisgibb.substack.com. I talk about all sorts of cool things. Hey, you brought it up. Thanks, man.
Yeah, sure, buddy. I should have done that earlier.
You're so slowly.
I'm not sure what's going on there.
Dial up? What's going on?
Yeah, I got to go outside and hold the antenna a little bit. I got to put
I'm sure it's because we mentioned it. Just so many people are massively going to the campaign. Flooding it.
Crashing the server.
Always high quality products from Travis Gibb and the gang. And I'm grateful. Thanks for featuring one of my stories too. Travis.
Yeah. Tales of Collectives right there, the digital. Yep.
Absolutely. And thanks for coming so much, Travis. And again, Matt, we're going to let you have the last word. I saved the best for last. Thanks for coming on the show, man. Where can we find you?
Hey, I appreciate that. So you can go to linktree.com/InSymmetry Creations. It's right there in my name. That's got all of our socials, all of our links. It's also got a link to YouTube where our metal music videos are. All of Steph's articles that she's written for Fangoria, Horror Geek Life, Creepy Kingdom, Horror Buzz are all there as well. Would definitely love for you guys to go to our store, which is at tinyearl.com/InSim shop. You can pick up, if you didn't back the I Am Keto campaign, you can pick up a whole bunch of stuff there, including some things for I Am Keto that were not on the campaign. And our next Kickstarter is going to be on Kickstarter. We think we're going to launch early February for Heirs of Isildur, The Perilous Prospects Book 3. You can go to tinyearl.com, Heirs TPP3, and go follow that, which would make me super happy. And I know it would make Travis happy too, just because.
And I need to be happy. Let's be honest. Like I get grumpy sometimes, but Lori's got to go again, right? Because you said the best for last, and that can't be Matt. So
I know I just rolled with it. I
didn't like that, Matt. I didn't like that. I wasn't a fan.
I just rolled with it, and I was like, you know what? I'll take that, but I'm not going to say. You never heard me say the words. I agree. I just followed the prompt. I just followed the prompt.
I'm not afraid to call Tim out on these things.
Listen, Matt's got a shark book. He's better than all of us.
Yeah, he's got a point. You got a point there. Okay, so in closing, I just want to say thanks so much to the viewers and extra special thanks to the panelists. This is really fun to do. And if possible, I'd like to try and do this every year. So, your opinions mean a lot. And as I'm fond of pointing out, it's something that it helps me to learn. And it's how I try to get a little bit better, is by asking a lot of questions about what people think of various things. So seriously, thank you for coming on the show.
No problem.
Oh, thanks for having us all. Creative Cranium is the best show. I've learned so much from watching the show when I'm not on as a panelist. Just hearing from everybody and their expertise is great.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. If you guys are so inclined, we're going to be doing the first musical show. That'll be on New Year's Eve at 9:00 with musician Justin Klauser, featuring the new Creative Cranium theme song. So
very cool.
We'll
be looking forward to that. So other than that, we just want to say, if we don't see you by then, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Good night.
Night, guys.
The world has got you down with a smile.